Hello C4SO, Dr. Soo Choi here, and welcome to C4SO's Tech Tuesday, a series where we focus in on the bewildering and beautiful intersection between tech and faith. In this episode, I want to talk about podcasting. Over the last decade, podcasts have grown to become one of the most popular mediums for fascinating and unique content. It has democratized radio by making it accessible to pretty much anyone with a good idea or story to tell. And combining with this accessibility is a podcast's ability to reach people, draw them in, and build long-lasting communities around similar goals and values. When I think about the podcast medium, I think it works precisely because it's primarily audio. We can listen while we commute, while we exercise, while we work around the house. And in that way, I like how podcasts can integrate into our lives rather than the other way around. And the other aspect of podcasting that I really appreciate is how the format favors going deeper, learning, wondering, being vulnerable, and furthering the dialogue. The medium is great for highly polished, well-produced shows, but it's equally great for authentic, spontaneous, and raw conversations. And for all these reasons, I think more churches and ministries ought to consider starting up their very own podcasts. Maybe a podcast about stories from the life of the church, or one about catechesis and theology, some kind of podcast that allows people to glean into the unique community of your church. I think a lot about the context we are coming from. The world has undergone a lot of change. We've quickly expanded as a society how we work, how we relate, and how we learn together. And I think about the particular challenges these expansions present to us now and into the future, especially as the church. How do we cultivate community? How do we dialogue about tough issues? How do we share the gospel and invite others into the life of the church? Oddly, I think podcasting could be, in part, a serendipitous answer to these questions. In fact, Richard Rohr writes that making, devoting, and ritualizing are spiritual disciplines that invite us to encounter the eternal over the temporary. And that's what the process of creating a podcast is all about: making, devoting, and ritualizing. So how do we start, and where do we begin? The amazing thing about where podcasts are today is that we can basically start from scratch without having to buy anything, without having to spend any money, and have it distributed to all of the podcast platforms seamlessly. In fact, we can pretty much do everything from start to finish from this thing right here. In fact, there's only 5 simple steps that you need to know in order to get a podcast from off the ground to the first episode. If you or your ministry is interested in starting up your very own podcast and want to know more about these steps in producing your very first podcast episode, I'm happy to connect with you through email or social media. May the Spirit of God bless your creative heart, mind, and soul. Peace.